Hey guys, Jason Cardamone here, and I'm just leaving the bank here, and I was just thinking about this. A really important thing that you need to learn owning your own business and creating potentially a 5, 6, 7, 8+ figure empire is that you need to have thick skin, and you need to be really good at expanding your comfort zone and growing. Really, if you guys have heard the 4 stages of competence I talk about, or the 4 stages of consciousness, you need to get good at going from unconscious incompetence to conscious competence. So I just came from the bank, and recently I've had some fraud in one of my business accounts. And so basically there's a couple charges across the world, and they were going to ATMs and all this stuff. So I have to cancel that debit card and get a new one issued. And in that particular business, I actually have a couple business partners that are tied to that. And one of them was actually a little bit worried about that, which I totally understand if that's never happened. Because just a year and a half ago, I had this happen for the first time in my personal account, and it was a little scary. And then again, about a year later, I had it happen in my business account, and it was really scary because I tracked things down and they were charging a lot of money all over the place. They also had got my usernames and my passwords to a couple sites online, and they're literally trying to break into PayPal and all these places. Like, they were just trying to go crazy to all my accounts online. And I remember the panic, the initial panic I had, and trying to track everything down, and everything, my whole life was on halt when this was happening. And I just remember how freaked out I was that, man, I'm just not in control of any of this stuff. And this can happen to you guys at any time, and in fact, it probably will happen to you. I am extremely cautious with all of my usernames and passwords and security. I mean, I have a computer science degree. I'm pretty secure with all this kind of stuff. But yet, somebody was still able to get in and figure some things out. And so, I think the lesson is, me looking back on that, if that were to happen now, I'm not going to have near the level of overwhelm, because I'm more consciously competent about what to do when things like that happen. And notice I didn't say if things like that happen, I say when, because the reality is that's probably going to happen to everybody, whether you're running an online business or not. It's just the day and age we're in. The ease of people to get access to information is crazy. I watched this show on, I think it was Montel Williams once, and there's a hacker up on stage. And the show is all about identity theft and fraud. And they asked this guy called 4 people out of the audience, completely random. And in fact, Montel Williams picked out the people himself. The hacker didn't know him at all. All he asked for was their first and last name, and that's it. And with their first and last name, they went to a commercial break, and he came back, and the hacker had most of their social security numbers, their home addresses, their cell phones, their everything about them. So literally, if he could do that right there in the span of 5 or 10 minutes, obviously there's people out there that can do that to you too, no matter how secure you are, no matter what. And so the real lesson is, guys, is things are going to happen in your life. And first of all, you have to roll with the punches. Second of all, you have to grow your comfort zone and grow in your levels of competence and your levels of consciousness. So, when things happen, you have to have thick skin and go beyond that and get to the level where you realize that's a part of doing business. You realize that's a part of living your life. Whether you're doing an online business or not, you have to realize things are going to happen. And I truly have come to learn that everything happens for a reason and a purpose and is here to serve us. So maybe let's take, for example, my recent example of the fraud I had on my business account. Maybe one of the lessons, maybe one of the reasons that happened is to remind me how grateful I am to be able to do business online, and how grateful I am that person didn't take all of the money. They only had a couple transactions of like 90 or $100 each. Maybe one of the lessons is for my business partner to learn this very lesson I'm trying to teach you guys, and really grow in his comfort zone and realize stuff is going to happen. Realize if somebody wants his social security number, they are absolutely going to get it. He can't do a thing about it. If somebody wants to steal his identity and break into all of his bank accounts, they're going to do it. The hackers and the technology, part of the day and age we're in now, guys, it's amazing. It's amazing what we can do online. It's amazing. I can be shooting a video here, and before too long, this is going to be up on my blog post, and it's going to be up in YouTube, and I'm going to be teaching people lessons, and you guys are viewing this through technology. It's amazing. But the other side of that is it's so much easier for a person with a bad heart and bad intentions to get access to this kind of stuff. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I jumped all over the place, but the real lessons I wanted to teach were grow thick skin, realize things are going to happen, and you have to be prepared for that. And when things do happen, roll with the punches, grow outside of your comfort zone, and raise your level of consciousness to where instead of just being unconsciously incompetent, like, oh, this could never happen to me, all of a sudden it happens and you're pretty panicked, which would be conscious incompetence. You realize how freaky it is that you're in the middle of this. Then move up to conscious competence to where, hey, I went through this, I became a better person through it, I grew. Next time this happens to me or loved ones, I'm going to help them, I'm going to coach them through it, I'm going to coach myself through it. So anyway, guys, hope that helps a little bit. And maybe you can even grow to the point of unconscious competence. All of this stuff is happening and handled for you, and you're not even worried about it consciously. For example, the best example I can think for that, you have all your stuff outsourced, and when fraud or anything happens, you have your team, your staff, your personal assistant handling everything for you, and you could care less about a couple $100 transactions. You could care less about $10,000 that was just taken out of your account because everybody took care of it for you. You don't care about the 10 grand that was just taken from your account because it's put right back in there, and you really don't care because you have $1 million sitting in your bank account. So that's where you guys are going to be if you take action and learn skills. I hope that was helpful, guys. To your ultimate success, and God bless.